Today. Good, it's a beautiful day here at the zoo. Hey bud. My name is Danielle and I'm really excited to talk to you all about our cougars here at the zoo, Joseph and Tecumseh. Now for those of you that have been standing here for the last few minutes, you might have noticed our keeper setting up this exercise that we are doing right now. We have 8 specially designed motorized boxes. Each one contains a piece of meat. Now what's happening is when Tecumseh came out, or Joseph came out into the exhibit, he heard a sound. One of those boxes emits a sound. He has to find the box that makes the sound, go to it, and when he finds the correct one, our keeper on the right-hand side console over there will push a button and release that meat treat. So he's positively reinforced and rewarded for finding the correct box. Now this exercise stimulates our cougars both mentally and physically, but also allows you guys to see them move around their exhibit because they're beautiful animals. They're adapted for a rough terrain, so you guys really have a great opportunity to watch them move around today. Now besides doing all that, why else would we want to train our animals here at the zoo? Do you have any ideas? We need a little bit of audience participation on this part. Why else would we train our animals? We're not a circus, so why do we train them? For our enjoyment, okay, yeah, so you guys get to see them walk around, yeah. What else besides that? So they don't hurt the keepers, right? Our keeper safety. What is more important than even our keeper safety here at the zoo? You know? The cougar safety, right? Our animal safety is more important, and you said it right there, it helps with the vet. That's right. Just like you and I, these guys do get sick sometimes, or they have to get their yearly checkups, so we try to teach them behaviors they would need to exhibit during a medical examination. Because anesthesia is just as risky in animals as it is in humans, so we try our best to do whatever we can to not use it here at the zoo. It's just that much safer. Now there's a box right above your heads. Reach up there, boy. Oh, look at his beautiful yellow eyes and those huge paws. And off he runs. These guys are really fast cats. They can get up to 35 miles an hour in speed. But if that's not enough, one of their most amazing and exciting adaptations is their ability to jump. These guys have been known to jump more than 16 feet straight up into the air. That is the size of this pole right here in the middle from top to bottom. So look past the awning all the way up there. Horizontally, they can clear 45 feet in a single bound. Huge distance. Now, the reason they're able to do that is because they have very powerful hind limbs. Their hind limb to body ratio is actually the largest of all the wild cats, so it really helps them out. Now, even though they have this jumping ability and this running ability, these cats, just like your cats at home, kind of like to conserve energy and be lazy every once in a while, so that's not the preferred way of hunting. What they like to do is ambush their prey. So they're going to stalk up behind it, kind of creep along, try to get as close as possible before they even reveal themselves, and that way they don't have to run a huge distance. Or if they're feeling really lazy that day, all they have to do is sit on top of a rocky ledge or a tree limb and just wait for something to walk on by. And then all they have to do is jump down, one quick swipe of that paw, and they have dinner. But that jumping ability does help them catch their favorite prey, which is the white-tailed deer. But being a top predator, these guys can eat anything from something as small as a bug to something as big as a moose. Everything is fair game. Here at the zoo, we do try to mimic their natural diet as closely as possible. So we do feed them a variety of meats. They get beef, quail, mice, rats, and rabbit. They also get a specially formulated carnivore diet that gives them the vitamins and minerals these guys need to stay healthy and strong. Right now you're kind of seeing a ground beef mixture, kind of similar to what we buy at the grocery store, except this one contains the bones and organs of the animals as well, because they need that. That is proper nutrition for them, and in the wild they would eat the entire animal. So a little bit different than what we buy. And she's going to go back out, and we're going to repeat this exercise with our second cougar cub, Tecumseh. Now I have a question for the kids up front. What do we call an animal that eats only meat? Big word that starts with a C. You know? I think I heard it somewhere. Maybe? Oh, there we go, carnivore! It's a carnivore. And that's exactly what our cougars are. They're carnivores. They eat only meat. Now here he comes again. Remember, he's listening for a box that's making a sound. He's going to find the correct one, and then that meat treat's going to be released for him. So we're kind of imitating a hunting behavior right now. These boys are 2 years old right now. They actually turned 2 years about a week ago on the 8th, well, not a week ago, a couple weeks ago, September 18th. Wow, time sure does fly. And they are no longer cubs. They are considered full grown. Around 2 years of age, they'll leave their mom and go pursue their own territory. So these guys are full grown. They're about 100 to 110 pounds right now, which is kind of small for a cougar. These guys are our nation's largest wild cat. They can get up to 250 pounds in the wild. So if you guys want to know what 250 pounds looks like, just go down into Cat Canyon and look at our Malayan tigers after our encounter today, and that's what 250 pounds looks like with a cat. So pretty big animal. Now these boys are named after 2 visionary leaders. We have Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce people and Tecumseh of the Shawnee people. These gentlemen dreamed of a day where all beings in this land could live together in harmony. So we have raised these cats to be ambassadors for their species. We do hope you find them as amazing as we do and join us in celebrating and protecting our nation's largest wild cat. Now, cougars used to roam all across North and South America, including the state of Ohio and possibly the ground you guys are standing on right now. They used to range as far north as Canada and as far south as Chile. So, over that wide range, cougars acquired over 70 different names. Does anyone here know another name for a cougar in the United States? I heard puma. There's 2 more. Panther. There we go. 1 more. Ah, I heard it. Mountain lion. Good job, bud. That's right. So if you hear cougar, mountain lion, puma, or panther, it's all referring to the exact same cat. And if you guys want to see other names that they're called, we have a bunch of signs here as you exit the exhibit today. Take a look. They are going to be in different languages because, again, they went as far south as in South America, and our own Native Americans named these cats as well. So be sure to check out those names later on. Today, cougars still survive in the lands out west, and we have a very small population in Florida, which we call the Florida panther. There is hope for the cougar based on its supreme adaptability and our need to conserve habitat. These cats can survive in almost any kind of environment. You have marshes, forests, wetlands, grasslands, forests, mountains, you name it. But they do need a lot of cover and, of course, something to pounce on in order to survive. So conserving our environment is essential for the cougar survival. Now heat is finished. We're going to come back out here and probably set up some more treats for these boys, and you guys can see them come out together. They are brothers. They came to us from a zoo in Iowa when they were just 6 weeks old. And at that time, they looked quite a bit different than they do today. If you take a look at that picture over there on the right-hand side, that's a baby picture of them. When cougars are born, they have spots all over their body and bright blue eyes. Oh, here they come. Wow. Did you guys hear that? That's not a tape. That's real. That was the sound that they just made. And they normally get along great, of course, you know, when they need to eat. Gotta tell each other, hey, this is mine over here. I don't want to take home. Now those spots when they're cubs actually helps them camouflage. When mom goes off to hunt, she's going to hide them in a bush or underneath a tree. Lots of shade comes through there and sunlight patches. Really mimics the natural spotting on their coat. Now when these guys came to us, they were hand-raised by 2 ladies here at the zoo that stayed with them 24 hours a day for the first 8 months of their lives. This relationship is very important to us here at the zoo because those ladies can come out to this exhibit at any moment, and we can use them to help us train them to exhibit behaviors we need during a medical examination. Now, when those ladies are gone, we still have to upkeep the same amount of health and safety standards that we do with our cougars. So if you take a look with me at the back of the exhibit, you'll notice our keepers, even though they cannot come into the exhibit with the cougar, have ways of training them through the fence. So again, we're going to be using the same technique. We have operant conditioning or positive reinforcement. So what we're going to do, instead of using a sound like the box is made, we're going to use a hand signal. We're going to ask them to do a behavior with a hand signal. If they do it correctly, they're rewarded with a piece of meat. Now, if they don't do it correctly, what happens? No meat. That's all it is. They just don't get that treat. We don't punish our cougars. And he's doing a really good job today. Did you see how he put the paw up on the fence? That action can be used for something as simple as a nail trim. So, really useful behaviors. Tecumseh loves to show off in front of you guys. And the exhibit you guys are looking at today was built specifically for these two boys in mind, based on what those trainers noticed they like to do when they were pups. So for instance, Joseph here loves to play in the baby pool, so we thought, why not incorporate a big cat-sized pool into the exhibit? So you'll notice we have this nice, beautiful waterfall right here. And on a warm summer day, he loves to hop in there and cool off and splash around. And cougars are actually amazing swimmers. They often have to cross waterways and streams in the wild just to get to where they're going. So a little bit unlike your house cats, they do enjoy the water. But how many of you guys have house cats at home? Anyone? Do you have a cat at home? No? A couple people over here? Well, it'll be interesting to note that the cougar is more closely related to your house cat than to any of the other big cats in the world. These guys are part of the Felix family, not the Panthera family, so they're very closely related to your house cat. So think about that next time you go home to Fluffy. Now these guys can purr just like your cats at home. They have retractable claws, so you know how your cat puts their claws into your furniture and out of your furniture. Well, these guys have the same thing, but they like to use them for trees and for gripping the ground as well. And since he's close up right now, I want you guys to take a look at his face. We do have a way to tell our cougars apart. Do you guys want to find out? Yeah. Oh, you're okay. I'll let you know. So Joseph has black lines underneath his face, so it's right here on the corners. Kind of looks like dark, thick black smudges, almost like he put some makeup on this morning. All right, and Tecumseh does not. So the rhyme is techno lines. So we're going to take a look at the cat coming up to us right here. Did you guys get a good look at the cat that was facing us earlier? Yeah. All right, now we're going to do a poll. Who here thinks the cat coming up to the glass right now is Joseph? Who here thinks it's Tecumseh? One person? Who here just has no idea? A lot of you, right? All right. Well, this is Tecumseh, all right? If Joseph decides to turn his face around, you'll kind of get a better idea. You'll definitely be able to see the difference when they're side by side. But just remember that rhyme and you can kind of impress your friends next time you guys come here to the zoo. These boys will be here for the rest of their lives, which will be about 15 to 20 years. So be sure to come back and visit them, watch them grow old together. They really are a fun sight to see. Is he going to go? Oh! I told you Joseph loved the water. You guys are in for a treat today. He might decide to go in there. Or he might just be wanting to get a drink. He'll be a little bit thirsty. Now as he's doing that, kind of look at that tail behind him. That's a really long tail. It's about 1/3 of their body length. There's several reasons why that tail is important. One, it helps them to balance when they're climbing trees and rocks. Second of all, if they're chasing after fast prey, like a deer, they change direction really rapidly, so all he has to do is to move his tail to one side or the other, and it will change the weight of his body so he can move really quickly as well.
Salmon.
Now what's your guys' favorite food? Do you have a favorite food? What?
Yeah.
Is it pizza? I get pizza a lot. Pizza? You think it's pizza? Alright, do you think that our cougars will eat pizza? No, they won't. They're carnivores, so they eat only meat. So if you guys like bacon, I'm sure these guys would like some bacon, maybe hamburgers, huh? Now these cats can eat about 10 pounds of meat in one sitting, which is like you and I sitting down and eating 40 hamburgers. Does anyone here think they can eat 40 hamburgers at a time? Maybe? Is that a hand? No? No one? Well, I'm glad. Oh, you do? Okay. Well, maybe we should have a hamburger eating contest here at the zoo. What do you guys think? Maybe with sliders. That might be a little bit easier. I think I might be able to fit in a little bit more of those. But that is a lot of meat. Now, do we have any questions about our cougars while I'm up here today? Yeah, they're cougars. They live right here in North America. If you guys are interested in saving species like our cougars, we do have a saving species campaign. How many of you have old cell phone batteries or chargers lying around at home? Oh, quite a few. I know normally there's a drawer, you just throw them in there. Well, instead of throwing them in that drawer, bring them to the zoo. What we do is we recycle those materials here. They all contain a mineral called coltan, and coltan is mined in Africa. And the mining of coltan destroys the habitat for several animals over there, including the highly endangered black rhino, like Clyde, that we have here at the zoo. So not only are you reducing the amount of coltan being mined, but we also make a small profit off of that, and that money goes directly to support conservation efforts all across the world. So it's one way you can do your part right here in Cincinnati and help out our species.